Low-wage workers earning up to $2,000 monthly could see a wage hike under recommendations by the National Wages Council, or NWC. Now, this affects about 1 in 5, or 238,000 residents who are employed full-time. The increments should be 4.5% to 7.5% of their gross wages, or $70 to $90, whichever is higher. Brendan Tenoto with more.
61-year-old Madam Chia has worked in the cleaning services industry for nearly 2 years. She sees the pay increase as a source of motivation to continue to improve her job skills.
真的很满足了，我很开心了，真的，每年一年被加薪了。我们就是要努力，也是要学多一点skill， 反正有什么东西我们要学多一点，反正可以尽量。 反正不会的工作，尽量一定我们也是有学，我们学的可能的工钱也是会高。
NWC says it's the first time it has recommended a range of progressive wage growth for workers like Madam Chia. It'll consider increasing it next year should the economic situation improve. But for employers still facing economic headwinds and considering cutting wages, NWC urges them to freeze wages instead and consider building in a pay hike of up to $50. The Singapore National Employers Federation says the recommendations are flexible enough for employers with varying business performance and outlook to implement. But it cautions that consumers may have to pay more for certain services.
Many of these workers are in outsourced sectors. They need service buyers and consumers to play their part by paying a reasonable price for better services so that their employers can grant wage increases to them sustainably.
The government says it'll do its part to uplift lower wage workers through transitional support to help employers absorb part of the additional wage costs.
I encourage employers to take reference from these guidelines, which can help shape business as well as workforce development. At the same time, the government will continue to support our businesses and workforce where needed.
Other recommendations include using gross monthly wages as a new reference for lower wage workers. NWC says this will give the workers greater certainty of the pay they can expect for a set of standard working hours.
What matters most is how much he or she take home, how much he or she actually earns per month. And this is the total package. It includes allowances, it can include some OT, it can also include other forms of payment from the employer. So from that perspective, we thought that if we use gross wages, it will allow us to then have a more standard yardstick to compare across different groups of lower wage workers in different sectors.
Mr. Shi explains that this also ensures that the wages of these workers will gradually catch up with median incomes. The government has accepted the guidelines, which will apply from 1st December to end November next year.
With Singapore's economy on track to recovery, the NWC says wages should move in tandem with the pace of business recovery. They should also be based on a flexible wage system.
And we strongly encourage employers to implement the flexible wage system. We call it the FWS in short. If they have not done so, the FWS has greatly helped employers to respond quickly to past crisis and allowing transparent wage adjustment to be made based on business condition and ensuring that our workers are rewarded in good times.
Employers who have recovered or are recovering in the wake of COVID-19 are also urged to restore wage cuts. And the council says they should roll back wage-related cost-saving measures, such as a shorter work week, temporary layoffs, and no pay leave. Employers still impacted by COVID-19 are encouraged to try to pay workers their annual wage supplement. They should also continue to tap on government support measures and minimize retrenchments.
The focus last year was on helping employers to implement necessary wage cuts and appropriate cost-saving measures in order to save jobs. With the economy and the labour market gradually recovering, the tripartite partners agree that it is timely to ease the exceptional wage policies that were put in place earlier.